Before our next presentation, I would want to share a quotation of Shri Thakur Ramakrishna Paramhans himself. Thakur once said, "নৌকা জলে থাক ক্ষতি নাই, নৌকার ভেতর যেন জল না থাকে। ঠিক তেমনি সাধক সংসারে থাক ক্ষতি নাই, সাধকের ভেতর সংসার যেন না থাকে।" Dr. Somnath Bhattacharya, Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering at Jadavpur University. He did his bachelor's and master degrees from Jadavpur University, securing a gold medal in his master's. He previously worked as scientist in DRDL, which is Defense R&D Laboratory under DRDO, Hyderabad, under the celebrated Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dr. Bhattacharya contributes articles in different journals of the Ramakrishna order and frequently appears in TV and other social media on programs related to the Ramakrishna movement. Dr. Bhattacharya recently visited Dubai and Abu Dhabi for lecturing on Ramakrishna Vivekananda. He also spoke at the Amity University, Dubai, on Swami Vivekananda. Dr. Somnath Bhattacharya is a very common face in a very prominent YouTube channel on Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature, Pranaram Bangla. The speeches over there show what I actually tried to mean when I began his introduction with the quotation of Thakur himself. As we have said in the very beginning, he is not just a professor, he is not just an academician, he is something way more than that. He, for us, carries the flag of hope that this era desperately needs. He is the example, the complete man, as Swamiji had visioned. And we are indeed absolutely grateful that we have amongst us Dr. Somnath Bhattacharya as our honorable chief guest. Our next presentation is a keynote address in English. India Rises with Vivekananda's Chicago Speeches, to be delivered by Dr. Somnath Bhattacharya, Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Jadavpur University. Sir, please.
Our friend Vivan Prakash recited Swami Vivekananda's opening lecture at the Chicago Parliament of Religions just some time back. And talking about time, now it is about 11:15, let us say 11 o'clock. And only few hours from this 11 o'clock is the time when Swami Vivekananda appeared. Why people say appeared? People could have said Swami Vivekananda spoke. Swami Vivekananda went onto the platform and then he spoke. But why this, semi-formal language appeared? Because we will come to that. But only in few hours from now, let's say from 11 o'clock, Swami Vivekananda appeared on the Parliament of Religions, stage of Parliament of Religions, and told those magnificent words, sisters and brothers of America. Don't give claps for Somnath Bhattacharya. But why appeared? Because, it's delightful to see students in their uniform in front of me, and that too at a place, Deoghar Vidyapith. But in Chicago, students were not there, elderly people were there, August assembly, and many of them said that this man, they didn't know that he is a monk from India. How to make out from that, color of the dress. But this man, this young man, he looks like someone divine, as having come from the heavens. There are so many accounts which candidly say that this gentleman doesn't look like a human being in flesh and blood. So, people feel hesitant to say that he went there, he spoke, he stood. Instead of that, he appeared. This is something divine. Not devotees of Ramakrishna mission, they are not saying, not good students like you, but a heterogeneous audience, they are saying that Swami Vivekananda appeared at the Chicago Parliament of Religions. It's a nice occasion for me to be here at the Deoghar Vidyapith, commemorating that grand occasion. I pay my respectful homage to the revered Secretary Maharaj, Principal Maharaj, and all the respected members, monastic members, the teachers, teaching staff, the people who are assisting this program with audio and video inputs and outputs. I pay my due respect to all of them. And right at this present moment, I feel like paying a respect to you people also, because I see that you are listening with much attention. There were so many programs, they were nice, and after that you are listening. So whatever be your age, I feel like respecting you. Some of you are talking, that's absolutely natural. It would have been unnatural, artificial if everyone would have sat with a grim face. But on the whole, my respect to the students as well. Deoghar, from yesterday night, it was haunting me that what is the meaning. The Principal Maharaj actually encouraged me. He told that Deoghar, apni janen Deoghar kibhabe esche, how this name Deoghar has come. This is Deoghar, the place, the abode of the gods and goddesses. I was wondering, Dev means what? Dev. Then another revered senior monk, he explained to me, yes, it is Dev. And when in English we say it's Dev, right? Still I was thinking while I was sitting over there, that could it have been Deoghar, D-E-V? But no, to follow the pronunciation, it's Deoghar. Devata, Baba Vaidyanatha, resides over here. Other deities are there. And this Vidyapith, I have heard about this institution, but this is the first time that I've come over here. And the few hours that I have spent really draws my attention and brings me to a conclusion that this institution in itself is veritably Deoghar, an abode of gods and goddesses. So, with that, we come to the subject matter, India Rises, with Vivekananda's Chicago speeches. Rising. I rose to this platform, crossing few steps, someone rising. That's not unfamiliar. But let us listen to the words of Swami Vivekananda. After he said, sisters and brothers of America, and there was a great applause, he says, it fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response, mark the word, to rise in response to the warm and cordial welcome which you have given us. Swami Vivekananda rose. He got up from his chair and then he spoke. And he is saying that to rise in response. These are natural things. That is what a speaker might say. But, mind you, when Vivekananda is rising, along with him, India is rising. Vivekananda is rising on the platform of Chicago Parliament of Religions, and India, with him, is rising to a shining future. This is not mere poetry. This is not an artificial drawing of parallelism, but this is true, which I believe maybe 60 to 70% of the students will realize now. Had I been in class 6, class 7, could I have realized? May not be. So maybe 60 to 70%. But afterwards, I'm sure that you will realize that yes, Vivekananda rose means India also started rising. Living with the word rising, Swami Vivekananda's biography says that when he addressed the audience as sisters and brothers of America, people stood up. Hundreds rose to their feet with shouts of applause. I can sit down and give claps. But if I am excited with jubilation, somebody has called me his brother. A lady is thinking that someone has called me his sister. I feel like rising up. I will stand up and give claps, like it's called a standing ovation. So Vivekananda, just think of the video. The video is not there. Audio is also not there. In the net, we find some fake audios. Anyway, but think of the real situation. Vivekananda is rising, and the people are also rising on their feet spontaneously. Nobody has told them, nobody has commanded. But people are rising. That, once again, friends, is in a way symbolic. Vivekananda rising means India rising, and the whole of the rest of the world rising to applaud. Rising to hear from India. Rising respectfully to learn from India the great message of humanity. And people were made to rise. What was the magic in Vivekananda? When he said sisters and brothers, one lady afterwards told, he wrote somewhere, that it's a little surprising to me that right from the morning in the Chicago Parliament of Religions, there were other speakers who also said in the same vein, same type of utterances, that universal brotherhood and all. Why this young man attracted that standing ovation? This lady, Mrs. Blodgett, she goes on to say that there was something in this man which was very honest and very pure. There was some element of oneness in this man which spoke through him naturally, and that is why came that honest response. Maybe I am 50% clear to you people if I say, my dear friends, and then after going out of this audience, I just forget you. If Revered Maharaj tells me about some, achievement of Deoghar or Vidyapith, I say, oh, I see. That means I'm not that interested, but from the stage I said that, my dear friends. But if I really feel that as students, you are my friends, I am with you through thick and thin, in your days of sorrow, in your days of jubilation, then if I say, my dear friends, that will carry extra weight, that will carry extra charm, that will carry extra invitation, and immediately you will feel like responding that, yes, this man is not doing only lip service, he is speaking from his heart. Mrs. Blodgett is saying that Swami Vivekananda had something, some feeling of oneness in him which drew that spontaneous applause. Another lady, Christina Grinstidel, later on, lovingly, respectfully, people called her Sister Christine. You have access to the internet, and if you if you collect this positive information, you'll find it so nice. Just look at what is given under Sister Christine. This lady, she said something which is wonderful, that one man telling one word, and that is creating ripples in my heart. Sister Christine says, our love for India came to birth, I think, when we first heard him say the word. We first heard him, means Vivekananda. Our love for India came to birth, I think, when we first heard him say the word India in that marvelous voice of his. It seems incredible that so much could have been put into one small word of 5 letters. So India, when Swami, so once again, we would like to reconstruct in our minds that we are not sorry that audio record is not there. Everything is in our mind. Today is Radhashtami. It was told, it is said that Vrindavan is really in our minds. Similarly, in our minds, if we recreate that impression that Vivekananda is saying India, when he is saying India, Sister Christine stands witness. She declares with absolute joy that my love for India came to birth. Now see, I'm trying to convey what a magnificent, M with M, magnificent with M, magnetic personality was Swami Vivekananda. He is telling India, and one lady, she is feeling that the love for that country is being generated in her. That is what she has written. Coming to Mother India, one great Tamil writer and poet, Subramania Bharati, he says, Swami Vivekananda was the great inspirer of patriotism and the fundamental power behind rousing. Once again we come to this word, different forms, rousing. Fundamental power behind rousing love for the country. He was the foremost among the creators of modern India. Subramania ji says that Swami Vivekananda was foremost among the creators of modern India. We as engineers sometimes think that if we build bridges and dams and metro stations and so on and so forth, we are creating modern India. That is true in an outward sense, maybe partially, but in the inward sense, Swami Vivekananda is creating modern India. And another sadhu was playing with letters, you know. He was playing with letters. What type of letters? Those of you who have read permutations and combinations, you know that if I say that the letters A, B, C, D are there, in how many ways can you align them? The sadhu was playing with letters like C, R, E, A and all that. Swami Ranganathananda ji of Ramakrishna Mission, one illustrious president of Ramakrishna Mission, he was playing with the words in a most positive and assertive way. He says that from that day, that means the day Swami Vivekananda appeared on the Chicago Parliament of Religions, Ranganathananda ji says, from that day, India has ceased to be the creature of history. Now think of these letters, C-R-E-A-T-U-R-E. Playing with these letters, Ranganathan ji says, it's all right, thank you. Ranganathan ji says, it started creating history. So from being creatures of history, we started creating history. What a marvelous play with words, with letters. That India, before Swamiji delivered his lectures, Ranganathan ji means to say that India was like, Indian people were like creatures, helpless animals, as if creeping under the feet of many. But after Swamiji delivered his lectures, India started creating history. So friends, we are discussing India rises with Swami Vivekananda's Chicago addresses. I hope I am not boring you. One person who never bored anybody was Swamiji. He could ride the horse. He could speak fluently in Bangla, Hindi, Sanskrit, English. Wonderful person. He could cut jokes with people of any age. And he could explain Sanskrit text as if his mother tongue, as if he knows it like fingers on our hand. Wonderful person. He could cook very nicely. And he could take up challenges. He could face oddities and adversities of life. Day in and day out, there were uncertainties when he was wandering as a monk. You see the picture, maybe some class 7 friend of mine has drawn, a wandering monk. Nice to see, we adore, we worship, but when he was traveling, why I am saying but, I should not have said but. The thing is that when he was traveling, barefooted, in so many cases, days after day, without food, without any certainty of shelter, with a begging bowl almost, looking like a beggar outwardly, but a prince, a king inside. And that is why we adore him, we worship him. That this is the Indian tradition. Outwardly like a beggar. I depend on no one. I depend on God. Whatever he or goddess, whatever she will give, that is all for me. So outwardly you might call me a beggar, but inwardly I know I am a king. I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to crave for. That is Vivekananda. He was challenged by many pandits of that time. That how you are telling all these lofty things, are you a Brahmin or what? Vivekananda fought against those odds without any bitterness. Vivekananda fought against people. Vivekananda, in a way, fought against sharks. Where? When he was at Kanyakumari, the southernmost part of India, wandering through India, length and breadth, he went to Kanyakumari, and then he found that at a little distance was standing the last rock of India. And he decided that he should go to that rock. How far was it? Around 400 meters, half a kilometer from the land. He didn't have any money to take a boat. So Vivekananda decided to swim. And that water of Indian Ocean was infested with sharks. So that is Vivekananda. He swam across to that stone, meditated over there for 3 days, and the plight of India came like a live video right in front of him. Sri Ramakrishna says, Sri Ramakrishna told Narendranath that I see God more prominently than I see you. Maybe Vivekananda had in mind that I see people, but more prominently I see Mother India, all glorious of the future. So he meditated on that rock, and we were talking about challenges. He took those challenges, shark-infested water, swam across it, and then, under some divine signal, he got some divine signal from Sri Ramakrishna, and then got a hard copy letter from Sri Ma Sharda Devi, whose permission he had sought, and then he decided to go abroad, to the West, to the Parliament of Religions. There was enactment on this stage. But then again, we recall the challenges that Swami Vivekananda faced when he went to the West. Yesterday I was inquiring of Maharaj Ji that once again, if I come to Deoghar, how is the weather? How is the climate of Deoghar? Then in a most cordial way he said that you can come during this time, that time. It's never very bad, etc. But one is little, one sometimes thinks that how is the climate before going to some place. Swami Vivekananda thought of nothing like this. Swami Vivekananda thought of nothing like this, and when he arrived at Chicago, that night he found that it is extremely chill. He was about to die. He was about to collapse. And that night, Swamiji had to take shelter in what? He had to take shelter in a huge empty box which was lying adjacent to the railway yards. That is the Vivekananda we adore. That he knew what is struggle all about. So in a foreign country, facing such odds, I just gave you one example. Vivekananda was shining with inner beauty and inner power and inner conviction. But then, some people told him that, well, what you are saying is right. It sounds nice, but you are going to the Parliament of Religions. What credentials do you have? Who has empowered you? He said, none. In India, young people like you, maybe a little older than you, they gathered around Swamiji and they said that, Swamiji, you must go abroad. But where are the credentials? Someone has written that he is representing Hinduism. No, nothing such. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that when a flower blossoms, then what happens is that bees are naturally attracted. He used to humorously say that you need not put up a signboard that the flower has blossomed. Same with Vivekananda. One professor, he was talking to Swamiji, and he understood that there is nectar in him, pure divine nectar in him. It was Professor John Henry Wright, a professor of Greek classics at Harvard University. And then, when he said that Swamiji, you should go to the Chicago Parliament of Religions, and somewhat hesitatingly Swamiji said that, see, I don't have any credentials, then Professor Wright said, what? To ask you for credentials is like asking the sun to state its right to shine. That in the morning you are asking the sun that what right you have to shine. Like that, can people ask you for credentials? That is ridiculous. That is what Professor John Henry Wright said, and after that he gave a formal letter, and Swamiji appeared at the Chicago Parliament of Religions. I was talking about his riding a horse, I was talking about his speaking fluently different languages, about his English. Someone said that he speaks English like Webster. Once again, if you see the net, Webster was one compiler of dictionaries, lexicographer. Not only that, he is known as father of American scholarship and education. So people said that he speaks, someone says that he spoke English like Webster. Another eyewitness said that on the stage, Swami Vivekananda was, within quotes I am saying, shining like the sun of India. In the book it is written, S-U-N, shining like the sun of India. I love to think that it's valid with, two spellings, shining as the great S-O-N of India. So he's the son of India, at the same time, he's the son of India in both senses. In my introduction, Mayukh has said, maybe revered Maharaj has supplied him with the particulars, that I am a professor. So when I speak in the class, taking one subject, naturally I have to, be communicative. What I say, the students should understand, they should realize, they should love the subject. But how much am I involved with that subject? How much am I serious about what is the commitment of mine to that subject? That matters. It might be that you are a good speaker. You can convey nicely, but you are not that dedicated to that subject matter. It can happen. When Swamiji was speaking, I want to draw your attention to one subtle fact, that he was not a mere orator. Some people have said that he is an orator by divine right. That is correct. But still elaborating for maybe 1 minute, he is not just an orator. He is dedicated to the cause of India, as Sister Christine has put it. And mind you, when Swamiji appeared in 1893, India was a subjugated country. It was under the domination of British. People like you, sitting in a hall, will get terrified if the sahibs are coming. If the sahibs are visible, the British people are visible, that why are they coming? Will they arrest me? Will they arrest someone else? God knows. That is subjugation. That is the underlying terror. That is the underlying plight of a subjugated country. And here comes a man, a sannyasi or what, God knows. But after all, he is from a subjugated country. What fantastic thing he has to say. That was a predominant mindset. Swamiji there was talking about Mother India, and we want to emphatically underline the fact that it was not mere oratory. It was absolute dedication to the cause of Mother India. When we say something, words are coming out of our mouth. If we take tea or coffee, that smell will come out. When Swami Vivekananda is talking about India, the words are coming out like flowers, which are to adore the feet of Mother India. That is the dedication of Swami Vivekananda. He is dedicated, he is committed, he feels identified with the cause of Mother India. And at Chicago, Swamiji talked about, which I am not going to elaborate, but he talked about the philosophical strength of India, the religious diversity of India, and the universal message of India. You can have philosophical strength, but at the same time you could be very rigid and orthodox. No. We have philosophical strength, we have religious diversity, and we are very pleased with that religious diversity because we have our forefathers talking now and then about universal message or delivering universal message of peace. And that is why Swamiji termed India as Punya Bhumi. He did not translate it into English. What a nice word. Like a mantra, he said, India is a Punya Bhumi. And in the Chicago lectures, he told that we believe not only in universal toleration, but we accept all religions as true, etc. So religion, according to Swamiji, is of primary significance to India. But at this point, Swamiji perhaps would have stopped me, edited me, that don't say religion, say dharma. Religion has a little different connotation, but dharma is really what is primarily important in India. Different sects, different religious denominations, they understand dharma in their own ways, but Swamiji says that in India, we breathe dharma every now and then. And thus, when he was speaking at the Chicago Parliament of Religions and afterwards, he was bringing back our lost identity. And this happened due to the dedication of Swami Vivekananda. Some of you are feeling little, maybe tired, little. Your principal Maharaj, his subject is statistics, not mine. But sometimes I think in terms of numbers that maybe 10% are tired. But those 10%, you will feel invigorated, I believe, when I say the next thing. What is that? Next thing is Swami Vivekananda's fearlessness. Fearlessness. If I am at this place, and if I start speaking about certain shortcomings of this state, shortcomings of the people, maybe they are true, maybe they are untrue, but then naturally what will happen is that I will evoke negative response from the audience. That what this man is saying, he has come to our place and he is talking about our errors, our faults. What is this? But Swami Vivekananda is doing that, not only to find fault, but to tell the truth. Now just think of the lion-like courage, not to belittle others, but to set things right. In one occasion, at the Parliament of Religions, Swamiji was talking about the Christian missionaries, those Christian missionaries who were earning dollars from the West and coming to the East, to India, and they were saying that the Indian people are uncivilized, they are brutes, so we have to civilize them, and that is why we want dollars. This was absolute business. And in one of the lectures from the Chicago Parliament of Religions, Vivekananda said this. Listen to it attentively. We see in cinemas villains and heroes, and what the hero is doing, jumping from some great height, and even a child knows that it's some cinematic trick that is being done. But here, no cinematic trick. Swamiji, like a real hero, is saying, Christian brethren of America, you are so fond of sending out missionaries to save the souls of heathens. Heathens means non-Christians. I ask you, what have you done and are doing to save their bodies from starvation? And there is an applause. All people are not bad. So from within the Christian people, right-thinking Christian people, there is an applause. Vivekananda goes on to say, in India, there are 300 million men and women living on an average of a little more than 50 cents a month. I have seen them living for years upon wild flowers. Whenever there was a little famine, hundreds of thousands died of starvation. Christian missionaries come and offer life, but only on condition that the Hindus become Christians, abandoning the faith of their fathers and forefathers. Is it right? He is challenging the audience. Brethren of America, the crying evil of the East is not religion. We have more than religion enough. What they want is bread, but they are given a stone. It is an insult to a suffering man dying of hunger to preach to him metaphysics, means philosophy. And then Vivekananda ends. Therefore, if you wish to illustrate the meaning of brotherhood, send missionaries to them to teach them how better to earn a better piece of bread and not to teach them metaphysical nonsense. Then there was a great applause. There was a great applause. So this is the courage, the lion-like courage of Vivekananda, which came from his indomitable energy. So he spoke about dedication. Now we speak of energy. One person, he saw Swami Vivekananda prior to his going to the West. And he says that Vivekananda looked like a soul on fire. He said that Vivekananda looked like a soul on fire. And Swamiji told him, I feel such a tremendous power and energy. It is as though I should burst. So much of energy within him. But mind you, once again, that this is positive, creative energy going to shape the world once for all. At Vidyapith, at this juncture, I'm reminded of one nice statement of Swamiji on education. He says, education should bring out strength of character, a spirit of philanthropy, and the courage of a lion. Vivekananda talking about the courage of a lion, this is his inner energy. Finally, I will talk about another aspect in brief, and that is the originality of Vivekananda. What is the originality? He was talking about Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma, or the eternal religion. That's all right. He spoke magnificently. The West understood that these countries, particularly India, they have to give something to the world. We were falling short of our conception. We thought that India is the land of beggars, but here he is showing that India has a great philosophy, India has a great message of harmony. Up to this is okay. But after that comes his originality. He was talking on Hinduism, and on that lecture on Hinduism, Vivekananda talked about what? Hindu religion, Christian religion, Buddhism, yeah, all these are possible. But another thing, what is that? That is science. Even today, if someone tells me that whatever knowledge you have, sir, you please talk on Hinduism, will I take the name of science in 2024? But in 1993, Swamiji did, and he's the first person in the world who talked about the meeting of religion and science. He says, all science is bound to come to the conclusion in the long run. Manifestation and not creation is the word of science today. And the Hindu is only glad that what he has been cherishing in his bosom for ages is going to be taught in more forcible language and with further light from the latest conclusions of science. Once again, I will not elaborate, but Swamiji is saying that what religion is aiming at, that is the same as what science is aiming at, namely unity. And now to talk in front of the august audience, and that too in 1993, while talking on Hinduism, Swamiji is bringing forth the concept of science, though he did not belong to theoretical science. Social sciences is all right, but here is a monk, here is a prophet, here is one who can see the future, and he is talking about that requires great courage and great originality. That he is talking about the intermingling, the coming together of religion and science. So, what are the three words? Dedication, energy, and originality that we are thinking of. And this lecture will remain incomplete if we do not talk about the rising of India with Vivekananda. We have talked, but the independence movement, on return to India, Vivekananda gave a clarion call to the nation. And if I could take a quiz, I will not do that. If I could take a quiz, I'm giving you the question, you can think upon that where is the answer, where is the answer. I'm not going to ask you. But the question for that quiz is that this small portion I will read from Swamiji. Tell me how many occurrences are there of rising. Once again, that magical thing, rising. Swamiji says, after his return from the West, India, I'm sure many of you will be able to answer that how many times this rising has come. Small quotation, India, this motherland of ours, a voice is coming unto us, gentle, firm, and yet unmistakable in its utterances, and is gaining volumes as the days pass by, and behold, the slipper is awakening. Like a breeze from the Himalayas, it's bringing life into the almost dead bones and muscles. The lethargy is passing away, and she is awakening, this motherland of ours, from her deep, long sleep. None can resist her anymore. Never is she going to sleep anymore. No outward powers can hold her back anymore, for the infinite giant is rising to her feet. 3 times he has said, the sleeper is awakening. Then again he says, she is awakening. And near the end he says, the infinite giant is rising to her feet. India will be raised. Vivekananda says, this is absolute poetry, you know. This is not prose, I believe. India will be raised not with the power of the flesh, but with the power of the spirit. Not with the flag of destruction, but with the flag of peace and love. The garb of the sannyasin, not by the power of wealth, but by the power of the begging bowl. Say not that you are weak. The spirit is omnipotent. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. That is Swami Vivekananda. And India is rising with him. There is no one in the audience who has not heard of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Have you? Anyone in the audience? No. Netaji says, if Swamiji had been alive today, what beautiful words. If Swamiji had been alive today, he would have been my guru. That is to say, I would have accepted him as my master. As long as I live, I shall be absolutely loyal and devoted to Ramakrishna Vivekananda. Then again he says, he talks about Swami Vivekananda, if he had been alive, I would have been at his feet. I'm not taking the name of numerous other freedom fighters, including Balagangadhar Tilak, Hemchandra Ghosh, and the illustrious Rajendra Prasad, who hailed from Bihar and was the first president of India. So, and just I will tell one thing about Hemchandra Ghosh. He was a great patriot and a revolutionary, and he was the preceptor of Binoy Badal Dinesh, the 3 young men who attacked the writers' building in India, in Calcutta. Hemchandra says that Swamiji to us was not a distant idol, someone at a distance, someone at an elevated platform. He says that Swamiji, he was not a distant idol, but he was an elder brother to us, showing the right path to the youth of India. Elder brother. So friends at Deoghar Vidyapith, I would like to say that Swami, treat Swami, see Swamiji, love Swamiji, try to touch the feet of Swamiji as your elder brother. He is a sannyasin, he is an acharya, he is a mass leader, but to the students, I love to think that he is an elder brother. So that elder brother is showering his blessings on us. That is what we want to think. And to end with, can anyone say what are the 3 words that I said? One is what? Dedication. The other one is energy, right? And the third one is originality. Thank you. So dedication, this time I should clap. Well, dedication, energy, and originality. So these 3 things, particularly in the light of Chicago lectures, we should take home. Take home means what? There's a figurative expression. We should take to our own homes, own houses. In our Aadhaar card, the address is written. So these ideas we can take home, that's one thing. But more importantly, we should take home. We should take within ourselves. This is our real home. Home is a word that's good, but a better word is ghar. We should take to our ghar these ideas of Swami Vivekananda, these character attributes of Swami Vivekananda, dedication, energy, and originality. Take the first letters, D, E, and O. So when you take these 3 letters and bring them to your heart, you get Deoghar. So in that way, we become citizens and make this world a better place to live in. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. You asked from Principal, Revered Principal Maharaj, for 10 minutes more. We indeed hope you asked for 10 more, 20 more as well. But you didn't. But however, whatever time and whatever opportunity we got listening to you, it was a blessing. That's all we can say. Hope to see you soon, sir. Hope to hear from you more.